Hello, and today I wanted to talk to you as a continuous to our last conversation about leadership. So sometimes as a leader, you are sitting between, let's say, a rock and a hard place. Why? Because through your career, you would have to drive decisions, plans to your team that not necessarily because you're supposed to know your team. You would be able to have the buy-in of everybody. Obviously, the golden, rule will be, for me at least, with my recommendation is that you would have everybody buy-in. But even between small decision to big plans, like let's say going back to the office between 2 days to 3 days, those are like small changes, driving new vision that not necessarily all of your team are going to buy in. So it doesn't really matter which scenario is out there, but what would you do as a leader when you know that not everybody would agree with you, would be able to get their buy-in? And I'm also stating that I know you've been watching us and you know constantly what we're saying. And we usually recommend to everybody to be, authentic. And this is what we're saying to everybody. And as a leader, obviously, we would recommend to you, you have your people to be authentic, because then everything we're talking about, energy, coming with this enthusiastic, the ability to achieve goals, that is like the Holy Grail, but not necessarily you would be able in every work scenario, especially as a leader, to be able to have it 100%. Lena, so what would be your recommendation? How would you actually recommend that leader to act? What is your recommendation?
So I know, like in spiritual terms, we often say, don't get attached, right? Let go of attachments and expectations. And I think it's just so important also in this scenario to understand that not everybody will be on your page or on the same kind of page. Some people will think it's the best thing ever, and some people may be indifferent, and some people will go against it. So the first thing is just, even for self-love, really, is not to be attached to the outcome of every single team member. So trying to get other people on board and understanding that their point of view may be radically different from your point of view. So that would be my step number one. So going to the meeting with, whether it's with the top or with the people who report into you, with a really open mind and with intention, just to be, like you said, like authentically you know what your truth is, what you believe in, and just stick to that. So basically being more focused on you, expressing yourself in an open and honest way, and just accept whatever other people's decisions are.
Okay, so I want to take this a little bit further, because for me, once you understand the basics, so then we can shift it to whatever you want. So first, you have to be authentic, meaning that everybody needs to be authentic. The minute you color the people that are not necessarily going to be on board, you are listing yourself to get their buy-in, and you're going to be authentic with them. So you're going to have conversation, and you're going to let your team know whoever doesn't believe in the plan or feel like he drive behind it and is just doing a job, we're going to have frequent conversation about it. So first you put awareness, you put it outside, you don't let it die behind the scenes, because then it can drive conversation around your team that this is the negative output that will usually happen when you don't put things in the light. Okay, so authenticity, meaning it's okay that within the team we're going to talk to, but the only place you can do that when you are not on board is with me. I'm your manager. We can have one-on-one, you can have an open door, you can ventilize here. You're not going to be authentic against the plan with anybody else around the team. The minute you put it in the dark, that's what happened. You don't have control. So this is authenticity, okay? Second of all, you go through the buying processes as long if the plan was correct, or he has challenges with accepting that instead of coming to the office 2 days, now they're coming 3 days. If he's got a good reason, that employee, you're going to see if you can bend the rules for him specifically. If not, you're going to talk about the quality and whatever, but work with it through him, because sometimes people are afraid. And the more conversation you can have, the more it uncover, and you would be able to get their buy-in. And the most thing you always need to understand as a leader is going into the unknown. As people, we don't like the unknown. And the minute you bring something that is regarding a change to people, you need to understand people don't like it. They're losing control. They don't know what is expected of them. They don't like to be with the unknown. So first, you building trust with them. You're going to carry, you're going to put a lot of details. And through the ongoing conversation, as the situation evolve, and you have more details, you go into frequent conversation with them and you show them. You start peeling off the unknown factors of the plan or the situation, the circumstances, and you would see people will shift. But I'm saying that because I want to tell you the terms that we are using through all our conversation around here are the same that are applying to this situation as well. It's not going against anything that Lena and I are saying in regard to messages. Lena, what do you think up until now?
Yeah, I also actually want to talk, well, to bring into this, probably my favorite topic I often talk about is intuition, right? Because what intuition allows us to do is to read people, to understand people on a much deeper level, because what lies underneath the surface is very different to what we present to the external world. And we need to understand that, let's say, if you have people on a team, some of those people will be more driven by avoiding risks, while some may be more driven by doing something that excites them. Somebody else might be motivated and driven by something else, right? And there's no right and wrong there. So when you try to get people to buy in, your intuition should really help you to understand what is the like a love language for that person, and pitch that idea, and I wouldn't say sugarcoat it, but just present it, to communicate in a way that it lands for the person. It can still be the same message, the same idea, but just the way it will be expressed, communicated, it will just kind of trigger, I guess, different neurons in the brain, and for them to get the picture that they would want to see. I hope that came out clear.
Yeah, you're right. Because what we're trying to do is to show that the circumstances in the work environment, we currently don't deal with personal life, but it makes a lot of sense that sometime you would understand people don't have the full ability to be authentic. And as the leader, you have to, because it's part of human DNA. If you want to be able to succeed with the team, you need to understand that if people need to be motivated, they should be authentic. The only thing we're telling you is that you should give them the place to be authentic, because whatever you're going to put in the light, they're going to be aware. And then you have to give them those place. And the minute it's out and they know it, you would be able to shift it with your intuition, with revealing more details, working with the unknown. Practically, you would be able to manage the situation a lot better. And the only thing I'm saying is that we are currently giving you all the terms that we used all the time, but the first time is in a situation that you not necessarily see the connection. Because I'm sure that the minute I said this is the scenario, I said, well, tough luck. In business, sometimes you can be authentic. At the house, you can do what you want. And I'm telling you that's not true, because you are human at home and you are human at work. And what we're trying to tell you is that the minute you enter the workforce, things doesn't change. People that are not authentic are going to talk about it. As a leader, you can't have that. You understand that people are people. And what we're telling you is how is the best, because of human behaviors, to address it with simple rule. You have to let them be authentic. You just decide where. You can use your intuition to drive out good results. Okay, you have to be aware, so you can't hide it. You have to tell them that you know you didn't get their buy-in. So you put awareness, still the same. And I'm telling you, better chances of you actually driving the plan, the change, whatever, to a more successful outlook and having your team with you. Nobody will resign.
Yeah, and I think maybe I would say the first thing before any of that, from my perspective, is to firstly get clear on what is it that you're trying to get the buy-in and how you feel about it, how you connect to it, because that's going to drive everything. Because at the end of the day, we can try to convince people, we can try to, express, communicate, but if we're not clear ourselves, what is it that we're communicating, and most importantly, how we are feeling about it, is just not really going to come.
So Lena, for me, it's the same when we spoke about it. It's a pyramid. If you are not at the top of the pyramid, meaning this, you are the CEO. If you are the CEO, I really hope you're driving the only thing that you are completely enthusiastic Okay, so then you start breaking the pyramid. If you're a leader and you don't believe in, you usually have your top managers. Okay, so you let them know that you don't have the full ability to be authentic. So you would have an ongoing conversation with them. You would ask that because you're a leader. So you would ask to vent your disagreement, your buying process with them. So whatever you're going to do for your team members is sitting beneath you in the pyramid, you ask from your managers the same. They would appreciate that if your manager is not going to do it by himself. And as a leader, the only thing I can recommend to you from personally managing a lot of people is that if you don't think that you would be able to really drive your people enthusiastically into the plan, drag your managers with you, because you cannot fake it. And you need to understand it's not about you, it's about driving the team. Think about it as a war, and you want to be successful in this battle, and you want to lose as less casualties as possible. So there is no disrespectful or taking anything out of you if you're going to ask your commander to come with you. The other way around, it's going to give you respect, and your manager will respect that you're not going to do this behind his back. But I think it's a good way to think about it. You have a battle, you not necessarily see how you can succeed, ask for help, and you want to have less casualties and actually win this fight, win this battle. I'm sorry, I'm from Israel. Everything is military circumstance.
Turn everything, even the peaceful situation, we took into example into like a war. But I do think it's a great analogy, you know, like you wouldn't go into battle with, if you needed help, you would ask, right? And this is it. If you need more clarity, if you need really more, that's because, as I said, I mean, for me, energy is everything. And as a leader, we've got to communicate it with passion, excitement, and energy. And if it's not there and you feel like somebody else can help you to clearly express, communicate to your team, why do it alone, you know? And
you know what?
A really great point there.
This is actually authenticity.
Yeah.
Because you would be able to have a better buy-in once you ventilated, because not necessarily always we have the right perception about things that usually drive it's like our first authenticity, what we think, not necessarily comes from the right place, but only if you open about it, using your authenticity, you would be able to get maybe other perspective by talking it to other people. So actually,
and it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness to ask for help, but actually shows strength, determination, and courage. Yeah, definitely.
People would want managers like that next to them. And I'm sure that when I'm saying that and you have a picture in your mind, this is the kind of leaders you would want working with you when you climb up the ladder. Because you wouldn't be surprised, as you know, everything is in the light. So when you're going into war, think who's backing you up. Sorry, I'm just continuing. It's working.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put a Russian and Israeli together. You know, there's like war just happens.
No, I actually been to the army.
I know you have. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, let us know how it goes. If you are ever in a position and want to share your experience, we always love to hear from you. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and until the next time.
Until next time. Bye.